Hey there everybody, Pika here. Welcome back to more Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories Reverse Rebirth. In the last episode, we managed to go ahead and defeat Maleficent and get our introduction to Reverse Rebirth's story. And now we're going to continue on with our beloved Riku and see what else his story has to offer in Castle Oblivion.
Why do you shun the darkness?
Come on, I know you heard me. Every word I said to Maleficent.
Darkness is your weapon. It is time you learned you must accept it.
What do you mean?
Stop resisting. Accept the darkness. You have no choice. If you are to serve me again.
I thought it was you, Ansem.
Oh, you don't seem surprised.
All you have been talking about is the darkness. I can only assume you want to pull me back in, so you can play puppet master.
Clever boy. I knew you'd be the one to most appropriately serve me. And now, surrender to me again.
You're crazy! Not a chance!
Did you really think you could do me harm? A weakling like you couldn't even defeat Sora, and you had darkness on your side.
Oh, excuse me for being weak.
You are weak. You need darkness. Surrender. Bow to darkness. Bow to me.
That's not gonna happen!
Only the darkness can offer to you all of the strength that you will need.
You're wrong!
That voice. Your Majesty?
That's right! Remember, Riku, you're not alone! Listen close. The light'll never give up on you. You'll always find it, even in the deepest darkness.
I got it. I won't lose to darkness. Not today.
You think that feeble little light can save you? From the darkness that I command?
And now it's time for a gimmick that is unique to Chain of Memories. Now, unlike in the original Chain of Memories, Riku just had to straight up fight Ansem in this fight. And it was annoying mainly because of how Ansem fought and also the perspective of the area sucked. So, what this game is going to start teaching us is the dueling system, which is very great to utilize in any sort of meanings of the word. So what you have to do is essentially you keep breaking him, and the more you quickly break your opponent, it will boost your attack. So when you break the cards, your attack strength will also increase as well. But there is a way to enhance your breaking ability, and it's essentially dueling them by executing the same exact number card as your opponent. When you execute it, you end up basically pressing the X button at random. I'm going to say press the X button at random because half of the time, 90% out of the time, you're going to win.
What? That all you got?
It seems to me that you are intent on resisting the darkness. All right, then see it for yourself. This is a card crafted from your memory. Advance through the world it creates, and soon you will understand. Chasing after light is not the way. It will not give you distance from the darkness. There is no running from the darkness.
Don't worry, I'm not running. Give it. I'll enter the world, and in the end, if I haven't given in to the darkness, then I win.
I have one more gift for you.
What'd you do?
I simply tempered the darkness that yet remains in your heart.
You still think that I'd rely on darkness?
To use it or not is your choice. I'll be waiting, Riku, for you to sense it and yield to the darkness in your heart.
Now we have ourselves a new mechanic, which is called Deep Mode, or Darkness Mode, or Dark Mode, or whatever. Essentially, when Riku ends up breaking enough times of his opponent, he will end up going into Dark Mode. He has to reach Darkness of 30 to be able to transform, and depending on how much darkness you have, well, yeah.
Don't I even warrant a hello, Lexius?
What is going on here, Zexion? I want an explanation.
Nice to see you too, Vexen. It's such a shame. The organization used to be the rope that bound us together.
You're only number 6. How dare you?
Let it go, Vexen. Zexion, tell us. What did you detect?
Visitors. I picked up 2 scents in the castle's lowest basement. One of them was Maleficent.
Don't be absurd. The witch is gone. She cannot return from the realm of darkness of her own volition.
If you would let me finish. The scent belonged not to the real Maleficent, but to a very convincing double. But I truly cannot say much beyond that, since the double is no more. Our other visitor saw to that.
And who is it?
I do not know for sure, but the scent was very similar to that of the Superior.
And yet, not exactly the same, was it? This truly piques my curiosity.
Now, what to do?
We wait. See what develops.
Something smells funny. What's that scent? It's so familiar. Darkness. It's the smell of darkness. I can't believe this is happening. The darkness even seeped into my skin.
Don't worry, Riku.
Your Majesty! Oh! What happened? I can see right through you.
Funny, huh? I can only send a bit of my power to this place. That's why I've got a request for you.
Request?
Listen, Riku. Just because darkness holds you, don't let go of who you are. You've got to fight the darkness inside you. It won't be easy to do, I know. But please don't forget, even in the darkest darkness, there's always a little bit of light.
Light within darkness.
You and I have seen it. The far welcoming light inside the door to darkness. The light of Kingdom Hearts. It will show you the way. Please don't give up. Believe in the light. That's a request from my heart.
Okay. I'll do my best.
Trust me, I'll try to find a way to reach you. I'll get there. I promise.
Oh. You're an illusion.
worry. We shook hands in our hearts, remember? We're connected, you and me.
Guess we are.
And now that Mickey is with us, we now have Mickey as our own personal card, and he is our only means of healing. Now, okay, here's what's going to be happening in the set of worlds. We are going to be going through Agrabah first, and you also notice that we have the cards in out of order, but we're still going to go through them as normal. We're going to go through Agrabah first, and this is how the worlds are set up now. You essentially will get the card, the Key of Beginnings, and then after that, you get the title card, and then you essentially just go through the world like normal. There are no cutscenes in between. You just go straight to the Key of Beginnings door, fight the boss, and then you immediately leave. That is it. I'm going to go ahead and showcase like all the battles in this part, mainly because of the fact that if I kind of cut out all the fights, it's a very short episode, like a very, very short episode. Think of it like old YouTube episodes, and back in the old days, it's kind of bad. But anyways, this is how the mechanic of the darkness points ends up working. As you notice, we end up breaking cards, and you end up noticing that the D points are increasing. You have to reach a cap of 30 so that Riku can enter into dark mode. Be warned though. Well, actually not be warned. Think of it this way. When you do go into dark mode, your cards do automatically reset, and it can get canceled out, as I found. And because the thing is that there's like an animation that plays out when Riku enters dark mode, and if the enemy ends up breaking you by that point before the animation ends, you can essentially get canceled out of dark mode, and you have to do it again. Now, your main means of doing maximum attack, maximum DPS, I should more so say, is essentially going into dark mode and utilizing the enemy cards as you see fit. The cards that we're going to be getting is going to be the Jafar card, which is Attack Bracer, which is really good because most of all of Riku's slights are all attack based. So using the Attack Bracer or Maleficent's Overdrive really helps out a great deal, because it means that you will have a means of very wonderful strength and be able to kill your opponents quickly without any worry. Now, another thing that you should be warned about though is that depending on how much D points that you have, which right now should be like 10, because that would be, now that when you level up you can be able to increase that. But when you're getting hit by your enemies, and it will happen a lot, you will lose your dark mode. So you have to be quick in what you want to do to be able to stop your opponent. Funny enough, them breaking your cards doesn't cause you to deactivate dark mode, but just fighting them normally and getting hit by all their attacks, which is very easy to get out of dark mode, mind you, which I don't get why the cap is 30 and the amount that you have is like so limited unless you increase it. I kind of don't really like that. I kind of wish that was like the little bit of the opposite, where if you increase it, that's how much you need to gain to be able to enter dark mode. But I guess if you have that capability, it probably would be broken. But I don't know. As of right now, leveling up D points will be the more important part, because all of your boss fights are going to be as followed. Enter dark mode, use Attack Bracer, go ham until the boss is defeated. Sometimes that might not work all the time, because you kind of want to sometimes go a bit slower. And this is Holy Burst. There's also an inverted one where if you're in dark mode, you do a bit of dark and light balls instead. That does not heal you. So if you want to use Mickey more effectively, I recommend only using him only. Not using him in a slight with Riku, because it will go ahead and not heal you at all. Mickey also has the capabilities of reloading some of your cards as well. So that's also a good thing. He not only reloads your cards, he also stuns enemies and also heals you. So it's essentially a glorified three-pronged version of Donald and Goofy for the most part. Not by much, because the only issue is that Mickey is fine. It's just that don't rely on him to be there to be able to heal you, because half of the time when he shows up is kind of not good. Sometimes he comes around in at the wrong time. Sometimes he doesn't show up at all for the duration of the fight, which can be real problematic. And there's no way to increase him showing up at all, especially if you're fighting bosses, because bosses don't, depending on the rooms that you create, the effect of those rooms do not take effect with the cards that you use last. That would be interesting though, if depending on the card that you use last will take effect in the boss fight. That would be actually very interesting if that was the case, but sadly that's not the case. They don't really do that for the doors for the bosses. They just, whatever you use is whatever it is. Like, the bosses are basically fair game, which sucks, but eh. There are 3 types of slates that Riku can utilize in his Dark Mode: Dark Faraga, Dark Aura, and Dark Break. Dark Break is essentially your Sonic Blade. Dark Faraga is your Strike Ray for the most part. Alright, so now we are actually back, and now it is actually time to fight Jafar himself. Same exact fight, same exact deal. There's really no difference between the both of them. You just literally have to go ahead and... Okay, now here's a strategy to be able to learn for when you're fighting these kind of bosses that only use one singular card. You want to break them as much as you can. The reason why is mainly because of the fact that since the battle doesn't really require them using slights in the slightest, all you want to do is break them, get into dark mode, and use your dark mode attack boost to essentially, kill the boss as quickly as possible. Because the faster that you kill them, the quicker you don't have to actually deal with them. So this is what I'm going to do here by essentially letting Jafar go ahead and use his cards against mine, and while he's doing that, I end up in dark mode, use the gimmick card, so that way I'm in an even playing field with Iago, so that way I can be able to go ahead and just start wailing on him. And now we can actually start. Now you notice that I'm now in dark mode, and the 3 slight cards that I end up putting in ends up initiating Dark Break. And look how much damage we're doing just with Overdrive alone. Sometimes Dark Break actually doesn't really want to work the way how it's supposed to, but hey, what are you gonna do? Sometimes it doesn't really do it. I don't know. Anyways, and that's the end of the fight. It's not that bad. Like I said, the boss fights do get a bit tougher later on, but as of right now, they kind of just feel easy to get through for the most part. Not by much, though. But yeah. And that's it. And now we can leave. Now, just like before, as I stated before, if you are going through these areas, you will have to go ahead and traverse back to the Conqueror's Respite. You're not going to have the capabilities of just having the game say, okay, we're just going to just send you to the Conqueror's Respite. No, they're not going to do that. I kind of wish that they changed that for this version of the game, but whatever. I guess they probably just do that because, reasons. And mind you, even when you get to like the second to final world, they still do that anyway, so it's like, alright, whatever. But yeah. And that's essentially Riku's story in a nutshell. It might actually be a shorter LP than I thought, mainly because of the fact of how Riku's gimmick is. And yeah, Also, Fat Bandit sucks. They're like the most terrible enemies in the game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Once we enter this door, we are now at the Conqueror's Respite. I was going to end the part here, but then I realized it's actually kind of a dumb motion to end it there. So I was like, nah, forget it. I'll just end it at the save point because it makes a lot more sense. But anyways, guys, that is actually the end of this episode of Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories Reverse Rebirth. In the next episode, we'll actually be having ourselves our first organization boss fight, and it's going to be annoying. Anyways, I've been Kopika, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next electrifying episode. See yas!